Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tear apart a really dangerous, kind of new scam. It's one that starts online but ends up in the real world, turning a simple ad into, believe it or not, an actual heist.
Okay, look at this number. 12,360,000 new Taiwan dollars. That's how much money one person lost. And get this, the craziest part? It all happened in just a little over 24 hours. Gone.
So, could you be just one click away from something like this? I know it sounds crazy, but the tricks these guys use are surprisingly common. So we're going to walk through exactly how this whole thing went down, step by step. The goal here is simple. You need to see the warning signs, the red flags, way before it's too late.
All right, let's dive in. The whole thing kicked off with something you and I see 100 times a day. Just a simple online ad. This one was for buying cryptocurrency. And of course, it promised to be super quick and easy.
Okay, check out how fast this all happens. At 9:29 p.m., the victim messages the seller. Just a few minutes later, they've got a deal. 3 kilos of gold for crypto. The next day, our victim buys the gold. We're talking almost 400,000 USDT, which is basically pegged to the US dollar, and sends a photo to prove it. Then, boom. That evening, an accomplice shows up, grabs the gold for a so-called inspection, and promises the crypto transfer is on its way. By 8:19 p.m., after a bunch of lame excuses, the scammer just disappears. The gold is gone. The money is gone. This whole thing, from first contact to the final heist, took less than a day. That speed is their weapon.
Right from the get-go, they hit him with this line: "Your data will not be leaked." Now, why would they say that? Because the very first thing they asked for was a photo of the victim holding up their ID. You know, a handheld ID selfie. They knew it was a weird request, so they immediately tried to make the victim feel safe with this empty promise. It's a classic mind game, right? Address the fear before it even becomes a real objection.
And this is just brilliant in a terrible way. This was their getaway line. The accomplice has the gold, the victim is waiting, probably getting pretty nervous, so what does the scammer say? Oh, the gold melting and verification process takes time. It sounds so official, right? So technical. It's the perfect excuse to buy them enough time to completely disappear off the face of the earth.
So, you can see this wasn't just some random crime. No way. These guys had a playbook, a standard operating procedure. Let's really deconstruct it.
Okay, so KYC, know your customer, that's a real thing. But here's the difference. A legit company does it on a secure website or in their official app. It's all encrypted. The scammers, they just ask you to send photos of yourself holding your ID card through an insecure chat app like Line. They're banking on you knowing the term KYC, but not the process. So let me be super clear. If anyone asks you for a handheld ID selfie on a chat app, that's it. Full stop, end of conversation.
So when you look back at just the online part, the red flags were popping up all over the place. I mean, asking for your ID and wallet address right away, that's a huge one. Then they keep saying, don't worry, your data is safe, which is them trying to build trust way too fast. They wouldn't even give a clear price until the last second. And here's the kicker. They started asking how and where the victim was going to get the gold. That wasn't just being curious. They were planning the robbery.
And then, when it came time to meet in person, the whole game changed. They started using a new set of tricks. They kept pushing back the meeting time again and again just to create stress. They used those fake technical excuses, like the gold melting thing. They even started ghosting him, reading messages but not replying, just to dial up the anxiety. And it was a team effort. One guy on the chat, a totally different person, shows up for the pickup. It's all designed to create maximum confusion. Now, this next part is so important. Losing all that money was devastating, obviously. But the real nightmare, the hidden cost, was the data leak. That ID photo he sent right at the beginning, that created a long-term problem that could haunt him for years.
Think about what the scammers walked away with. They have his ID documents. They have his crypto wallet address. And because they met him, they know his general physical location. They basically have a complete identity kit. This isn't just about one stolen pile of gold anymore. It's about a stolen life.
And this is where it gets really scary. With that stolen ID, criminals can open something called a dummy account. It could be a bank account, a crypto account, whatever. Then they use that account to launder their dirty money. And when the police investigate, whose name do you think they find? The victims. Suddenly, you're not just a victim of theft, you're an unwilling accomplice in someone else's crime. Okay, so after all that doom and gloom, what can you actually do? How do you stop this from happening to you? Let's get into the most critical part of this whole thing, your ultimate anti-scam rulebook. All right, it boils down to 4 simple but absolutely crucial steps. Step 1, verify the platform. Only use well-known regulated exchanges. Do your homework. Step 2, protect your data. I mean, never ever send a photo of you holding your ID to some random person on a chat app. Just don't, period. Step 3, avoid physical meetups for big deals. If you're moving large sums, use a bank or some other trusted service, not a face-to-face exchange in a coffee shop. And step 4, report anything that feels off. If your gut is telling you something's wrong, listen to it. Stop what you're doing and call for help.
And if that's a lot to remember, here's a really easy way to think about it. The 3-3-3 rule. It's simple. 3 no's. No trusting random ads, no sending your sensitive data, and no meeting strangers with a pile of valuables. Then, 3 yeses. Yes, you should verify their identity. Yes, you should think critically about the deal. And yes, report it if it feels weird. And finally, 3 things to confirm. Confirm the transaction is secure, confirm the person is who they say they are, and confirm your legal rights. It's like a quick mental checklist you can run through anytime.
And listen, there's one more thing you absolutely have to know. Just because the first scam is over doesn't mean you're safe. The same criminals, or their friends, will often come back. This time they'll pretend to be a special team that can get your stolen money back, but you have to pay them an upfront fee. This is called a secondary scam. They're hitting you again when you're at your most desperate. Remember, real police will never ever ask you to pay them to do their job.
So what's the most important takeaway from all of this? It's that you're not on your own. There are official anti-fraud hotlines, like 165, that are there to help. If you have even the tiniest doubt about a situation, just stop. Don't reply to another message, just call that number. It is, without a doubt, the smartest thing you can do.
So I want to leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know their entire playbook, which red flag do you think you would spot first? Was it the weird ad? That instant demand for your ID? Go back in your mind and pinpoint that first moment where you would have said, nope, I'm out. Because finding that first crack in their story, that's the key. That's how you stay safe.